Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with my stepmom and G-Daddy to talk about episode 8 of Survivor season 47. He's all that. Sheila, how are you doing today? And how did you like this episode?
I'm great. Did I like this episode? Yeah, this episode was great. I'm loving the season. I'm loving watching the characters, like both players jockeying for position, and I think it's really fun. I think it was a complete shock to me what happened in this season. I mean, in this episode. So maybe everyone else saw it coming. I didn't. And yeah, so far so good.
So far, so good. G-Daddy, your man, Andy, he's got the episode title again. He's all that. How are you feeling about this episode?
I'm trying to throw my hair back.
Take off your glasses. And
yeah, want to throw my hair back. Yeah, Clark Kent. But yeah, she's all that. Or I looked it up because I couldn't remember the show. But yeah, that's definitely him. Is going to be turning a I don't want to say frog into a princess or prince, I should say. But yeah, he's coming along, man. He's my man.
Yay! Rooting for him. He's come a long way from the first episode, how you were feeling about it until now. So I'm happy that he's had a turnaround moment, especially since I know Andy and he's a great guy in real life. So it's nice to see that his survivor dreams are coming true, but that it wasn't just what we saw for episode 1, that wasn't going to be his legacy. He's already changed it. And so whatever happens now is just kind of like gravy, play money that he's playing with. So yay, Andy! Yep.
He's playing on house money.
Playing with house money, exactly. So we started this episode saying it was Sam, and I don't even remember. I just rewatched this episode, and what happened at the end of last episode for me to write it was Sam?
It was Sam. What do you mean?
I must say, I wrote that because they probably said it, but I don't remember. Anyways, Rachel's alone at camp, and we're kind of taken back to her being ejected from the tribal council, safety without power. She's gone back to the camp, and she's there by herself. I would be kind of scared for this moment. Obviously, you know that you're going to be fine, and you have the camera people around you, but I don't know if I'd want to be alone at camp, by myself. That's kind of you're laughing. You'd be fine.
But by myself?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd be fine. It wasn't for long, right? It's just through tribal.
Who knows? Maybe it was for hours.
Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't realize that they cut so much out, but yeah, I'd be fine sitting there, chilling. Get a chance to relax without anybody else talking in my head. Yeah, I'd be good.
Sheila, what do you think that you would be thinking about what happened in the game? Who would you thought have been going home? Now that you have the Tuku that was all going to be fighting against each other at the tribal that you got to leave.
I'd be wanting to hide behind the bushes and see what's going on. I don't want to be sitting at camp in the dark by myself, wondering what's going on. I'd want to be back there, thinking I left. Let them think I left, but I'm watching, man.
You would have been in the bushes. Yeah. You would have pretend you were leaving, and then you'd be looking over.
She's there wondering what's going. Yeah, no, that. And then when they come back, are they going to tell me what's going on? No, I'd want to be right in there, but not in there.
She lost some information, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also though, I don't know if Rachel would be the one that should do that though, because remember she was trying to steal the rice, so she's already trying to pull fast ones. So I don't know if Rachel is the right person.
No, it was Caroline that was trying to steal the rice.
Oh, was it?
Wasn't it? Was it Rachel? Oh yeah, it was Rachel. Yeah, it was Rachel. Yes, yes, it was Rachel.
So yes. I don't know. I think that Rachel, I don't think she can be sneaky and trying to look through the bushes at what's going on at tribal, because I think production will be like, "Hey, we've already warned you to play by the rules."
I think she's definitely a secret agent. She did some spy stuff coming up in this episode, so I think she's definitely a secret agent.
Hi, Diva. Diva says, "Hey, Chantele and friends, family and chat. Yay! Hello, everybody." Yay. Hi, Glenda. So Diva here is saying Andy's arc is going well. He's just an emotional player. Yes, he is. He's an emotional player, but at least he has intention. He doesn't allow it to completely debilitate him. He's able to recover, which is what we want to see in a hero. We want to see them fall and then get back up. So it's on the up and up right now. So Gabe thought it was definitely a disaster. He wanted Rachel to be the person going out. it's really like, I'm still kind of upset with how Tiana went out. Like, I know that she didn't really do the best job with the Tuku tribe in order for her to be the person that's going out. But I just wish that things shook out a little bit differently. I didn't want her to go that way. Still kind of sad about it. Okay, so Rachel's obviously curious as to who sent her this advantage. So she's kind of thinking about it. When everybody gets back to camp, Saul and her have a conversation. I don't know how soon after it was. And he does let her know that it was him. And he kind of wants to form some sort of bond with her. She's really excited about this opportunity to work with her. What do you think about this duo? Saul and Rachel.
I think it's a good alliance. I mean, Rachel's super smart. Saul's picking a good one to align with, and Saul's very smart too. Like, I think that they complement each other, and of course, it's probably not going to be Rachel's only alliance, but I think it's a good one for her.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely, because Saul letting it out, I mean, it was good or bad. I'm not sure what it's going to turn out to be, but it was good initially because now she's indebted to him, so to speak, right? And he, was able to bring her in. I did it for you. You owe me one, but he didn't say that, but you owe me one. And he really bonded with her. But at the same time, he also entrusted her not to say anything. So he entrusted her because he doesn't know what other alliances that she's got, but yet he entrusted her not to say anything. And she could go back to Gatto right away and say, hey, listen, guys, or whatever her current alliance is, and say, listen, guys, it was Saul that did it. So he can't be trusted. He didn't say anything, so she could really blow up his game right now. But I think Saul wants to put together his team, obviously.
Yeah, well, his team is called SSA, I think, Saul's Secret Agents. So
yes.
We have Rachel is one of Saul's secret agents. Who else do we think?
She doesn't know she's in it, though. It's a secret.
Secret from everybody in it.
Secret only for Saul.
The only people that know about it is all of us, right? It's a secret, but we all know. But she doesn't know. No one else knows that they're in it.
So who else doesn't know that they're in Saul's secret agents, would you say?
I don't know. I don't know who he's got as part of his agency.
I'm thinking maybe Genevieve. We saw obviously them connecting before this merge has happened. So maybe Genevieve, maybe Teeny, so maybe his original Lavo too that are still left in the game. That's all that I've really seen him connect with that I can think of right now. But that's a pretty good group. Rachel, Genevieve, Teeny, and Saul. They can do some damage, I think.
Yep.
I do also love that Saul wants people to think that he's just kind of goofy, that he's not strategic, that he doesn't really have any bonds and connections. So I think that he's doing well.
Well, he says it's an act, right? So
it's an act, yeah.
His acting, is he a good actor? What do you think?
So far, I'd say that he's playing a likable person that doesn't seem threatening. I don't think he comes across as somebody to get out right now because he's dangerous. But like you said, with him telling Rachel, and she has that information about him right now, he did give up some of his power to her. And so maybe, he might be appearing to be more strategic when people are like, oh my goodness, he lied to us this whole time. That could blow back in his face. So hopefully he made the right decision there. Everybody is telling Rachel. So Saul told Rachel, and then also Sam told Rachel that everybody was freaking out when she left camp, tribal council, because of the fact that they were going to vote her out. And so Rachel does have this additional knowledge that they were all the Tukus were lying to her, and that she was going to be the one that was voted out. So Rachel's getting a lot of information, which is, I think, really beneficial for someone that's so smart and strategic like she is. You guys are both nodding.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's good intel for her.
Definitely. When Sam was talking to Rachel, he's like, yeah, you were going 1,000,000%. And I was just like, I mean, some people were saying, I think it was Rob was saying this when he was talking with Steven about, do you guys remember the movie Final Destination?
Wasn't that the one where everyone died?
Yeah, but like
predestined,
you can't escape.
No what.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So they're kind of saying, like, do you think that this is kind of the same fate for, like, it kind of happened with Tiana here? She was going to be the next out with Tuku, so she couldn't really escape her fate here. And do you think that this kind of could be what's going on with Rachel, that like she's just going to be trying to escape being the next one on the chopping block?
I know there's definitely a target on her because she's definitely very, very smart. They know it. Playing wasn't here where she played that, but we'll talk about that moving forward. But yeah, she's extremely smart, and they all know it. And she's social. I mean, she's a good player. Not as good as my man Andy, but she's a good player.
Lavo and Gato are coming together. They're saying, they're telling this to Rachel that it's going to be the 7, plus her would be 8. And they forgot about Andy. And I'm like, I feel bad for Andy in the sense that he's being forgotten in this way. But I'm actually really frustrated with Gata because why they're continuously not really looking at him as a player or as an ally or as a tribe mate or as a friend. Like they're just completely discounting him on all areas.
Yeah, very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange. And I don't know if it's his, like he's there like, I'm doing so great, I'm masterminding. Like he really believes that he's driving the game, right? Like that's when they show outtakes of him or when he's doing confessionals, he's like, I'm doing great and that I planned that. And he's just kind of feeling really on top of his game. But the other players don't seem to see it that way. They're like not even remembering he's part of the team.
Well, that's good that they can't see that he's doing his
yeah.
But I mean, good thing that they can't see that. But yeah, to discount him like that, I mean, I don't know why they would do that at all. I mean, because he's definitely under the radar right now. They know that he's not great at challenges. I mean, I would want to keep him around for sure because his, as they say later, he's expendable, which I thought that was very rude. But I mean, when Sierra says that, moving forward. But yeah, I mean, Andy's I don't know why that, like, he's got that, maybe that ick. I don't know.
But maybe they're not showing stuff because Sierra alluded to the fact that he's very chaotic and, they just never know what he's going to do next. He's messy. And so I don't know if they don't have a lot of confidence in him. Like maybe that's what he's trying to portray. Maybe he's pulling a Saul where I'm just a goofy guy.
Well, they definitely had him, but I don't think they have him now.
Yeah.
100%. And, I think that we haven't seen it play out, but the fact that Genevieve wants to work with him, like, I think it shows that what the Gata members are not seeing in Andy is that, like, he just wants a loyal ally. He wants somebody to work with. He wants someone to strategize with. He wants to be planning things and making moves. And he's going to be your guy if you bring him in. And they're just completely discounting him. And she's looking at him as an asset. And so I really hope that we see a little bit more of their duo forging ahead, I guess. Like that I think would be really, really great to see how working with Andy is better for the game, hit their game. So
yeah, I want him to become one of the cool kids.
He is a cool kid. Oh.
I know, but they don't show it on the show. I mean, he's definitely sitting at the cafeteria table by himself, So I mean, but he is. Come on.
But Genevieve would be like, "Come over, Andy. Come sit with me." And like,
or she'd go over and sit with him. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Exactly, and they would be like, not even noticing that he's sitting by himself. Maybe it's just perception, right? Maybe they're just not perceiving everything. I don't know.
Maybe he set it up at the very beginning when he said that he was on the outs with everybody and he had to change and be who maybe he set that up from the very first thing and they just see him like that now. I mean, plus, of course, they've got some evidence moving forward. I mean, him falling off the hammock, him losing his
shot in the dark.
The shot in the dark. Him sawing wrong, so they've got a lot of evidence that the guy is kind of goofy, but still, I mean, he doesn't, I mean, not enough reason to kick him out of the game, in my opinion.
I don't see it.
Or kick him out of your group. It's not even out of the game; it's out of your group, right? So you're not allowed to be with us now.
So they mentioned that Saul mentions that Kyle mentioned that Saul might be his favorite person in the game. You see kind of like a duo moment happening were you surprised that Saul mentioned that nobody on his tribe knew Karate Kid or like the reference to wax on, wax off?
Was I surprised? Okay, someone's gone frozen. You've gone frozen here, so we'll continue. You got to come back in, I think. But yeah, as far as wax on, wax off. I mean, everyone knows the Karate Kid. You're back. Everyone knows the Karate Kid. I think because we have every single edition of the Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 2. We got the girl doing the karate. We watched the entire thing of Cobra Kai. I mean that's an epic thing to watch Daniel grow up from a little tiny kid to now he's a man running a what is it, an auto dealership, and you got Johnny there. Johnny now is grown up and he's still the same guy. I mean, who does not love the Karate Kid? So I was amazed that he said that no one on his tribe knows who the Karate Kid is.
I actually need to go ask Asia. I'll be like, Asia, is he including you in this? Because like, that's wild. That's wild. I remember I haven't seen all of Cobra Kai, but I know the concept. I definitely have seen the first few movies a few times back in my youth. And isn't that why my brother started to take karate? Was it because of the Karate Kid or no?
I don't remember. I was going to bring down a VHS tape and say, here's the Karate Kid right here, because I got one upstairs, right? Here's the Karate Kid. But probably that. He started doing karate, and he won that event. Remember that?
Yeah. Dreadful Ruby is 36 and has never seen it. The original's great.
Is that young, 36?
Yeah.
Because that was 1985, I think. Was the Karate Kid somewhere around there? Yeah,
I think we're all dating ourselves by knowing about it. Like, I mean, it's like an older thing.
Wow.
I guess it's not like it's not current to people today. So,
it's like my heart.
It was a classic.
Another classic.
It was a classic. Wax on, wax off. It was a classic.
And
Miyagi.
Touching the fly.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Yeah,
good lessons in that show.
I
definitely think that everybody should watch it because it was great, and I'm going to watch Cobra Kai because I've heard that it's also great. So
it's fun. It's fun. I don't think it's great. It's just fun.
It's an enjoyable watch, especially if you see the history. So Caroline has something super excited to show everyone. So they're going on a little bit of a field trip into the forest, and it's going to be the Survivor auction. So get ready to get happy. It is the Survivor auction is what the parchment says. There's going to be bamboo tubes with cash in it, and one at a time you have to find these tubes inside the jungle. You guys got excited about the Survivor auction. What did you like about it, Sheila? Or this
I mean, heck, I personally didn't get that excited, but the players got excited, so I figure I should be excited. They were super excited, but I think in retrospect they're excited because that meant they could eat. Getting food. It's not probably so much the art of the auction, it's the fact that they can get food.
Chance to get food, yeah.
But
they jumped high.
They were excited.
I didn't know that was a thing. Now, when you get excited, you jump up so high.
Oh, I did not notice.
No, they were jumping high, like so excited about it.
Well, okay, now I work in film and television, and sometimes you do more than one take of a certain thing. Do you think it's possible that they wanted a bigger reaction, so they had them retape that?
Wow. I don't know. So this is not a real just reality show?
It could be a reality show with
production.
Production. Yeah.
Production with a little help.
I mean, I don't know, but like I know in like, for instance, we'll say like The Hills or like other reality shows like that, they'll be like, oh, can you just enter in again, or hold for sound, or you know what I mean? Like they still recognize sometimes surroundings and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised to be like, hey, can you give a bigger reaction here?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I just noticed them all jumping, and I know that the kids now, the way they dance is just jumping up and down.
Oh, that's how they dance?
That's how they dance now. They just jump up and down, right? So, maybe.
So all the contestants are running around looking for these bamboo tubes that are filled with different amounts of money. And our guy, Andy, is not really having a good time here. Gee, Daddy, how do you feel about Andy's searching skills here in this jungle?
Or lack thereof.
I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh.
I thought it was the smartest move ever to walk around and pretend that you don't see any of those tubes. Absolutely brilliant. He's not going to be losing a vote, period. And like the way I imagine this, I guess the game wouldn't go that well if everybody says, no, I'm not going to pick up one of those tubes because I don't want to lose a vote. It'd be, I don't want to do that. And then, no auction, they all go home and everybody gets their vote. But he was brilliant. Don't find anything, don't lose a vote. I thought he was excellent with that.
So are you
my man Andy.
That Andy pulled that off on purpose?
Yeah.
That it wasn't just him being inept?
He's got an angel behind him that's guiding him right now. That is letting him know, don't pick that up, don't find anything. So he's been guided, so he's been protected in this game. Absolutely. Very, very smart of him.
Well, Diva says Andy was looking for the tubes like my daughter if it was a snake. So Sheila, you're on the other side of the fence here, as you think that he just wasn't seeing these tubes and he was allowing himself to kind of go down and spiral and do poorly here.
Yeah, I feel like, that's a big move. Just find one tube then. Get a couple hundred. Be able to get something to eat. Do it quickly.
That would be
get
worse.
In and out.
What's a couple hundred going to buy you? It's not going to buy you anything. A couple hundred is not going to do anything. You're going to be stuck with your 200.
Like he didn't look like when they, and this is all production, right? But when they looked at him, he looked upset. He didn't look like that Cheshire cat kind of, I outsmarted everyone. He didn't have that gloating look about him.
Great actor. Great actor.
Oh, come. You're just
Great actor.
Okay. All right. You're way on the other side.
Great acting.
Maybe when it happened, he had to accept it and it worked out okay for him. But I don't know. I'm not convinced at this moment in time that he went out trying to do that. That's just what I'm thinking.
It's brilliant.
Well, okay, maybe both things can be true here. Maybe, he started out wanting to find it, but when he was having trouble and people were doing better, he's like, well, at this point, maybe it's better that I just protect my vote here and then also maybe have some sympathy. And then maybe people will not see that I'm as big of a threat as I am. I can't even find these tubes in the jungle. And so maybe as it wasn't going his way, he decided to reshift his strategy here and his intention. So only the reason why I kind of more so agree with Sheila is because he's such a big fan of the game. And so he would want to participate, you would think, in the auction. Before season 40, it was just like a really big deal. The auction, a lot of really amazing moments and Survivor lore happened with the auction. And so I would think that he would want to participate, but I could also see him not doing well in the beginning and then being like, well, I want to keep my vote, so let me go and use
it's kind of weird. It was like when everyone was counting their money, it was like in school when everyone got Valentines and he was in the back, he didn't get a Valentine.
Oh my God!
No, he didn't get a Valentine. Everyone's counting their Valentines out. I got 5, I got 10, I got 30.
I remember.
Oh my God.
It's so true because he just kind of just wanting to participate but then not participating. Angie.
Oh, what an actor.
But I don't think Sierra was smart. I don't think you want to have all the tubes on your pile.
Yeah, that gives her more money.
But but that's more money that she has to spend.
Yeah, but where they're not being smart is when they spend partial money. When you're playing the game, you bet it all. You got to get it out all of it, and hope you don't get that cash back thing. That was.
Okay, so let's get to this auction. Auction. There's going to be 15 items that are prepared. Only the first 5 of these items are guaranteed to be bid on. And then he's going to draw to see how many of the 15, there are 6 to 15 items are going to be played until the auction will stop without notice to the number that Jeff has decided to pull. And then whoever has the most money left at the end loses their vote. Now, is this an auction?
Well, it's not, the auction that we know of. I mean, it's not, I
want to hear that. That's what I like about an auction. I want to see people, like
Bidding?
upset that like, oh no, $20, $30. How can we fix this? Because yes, I enjoyed this segment. It wasn't an auction. I don't like the losing vote element because it just made everybody not care what they're bidding on and just bid all their money. And whoever has the most money that round would get the prize. So it's not really an auction there. It's just like avoiding having losing your vote. So how can we fix this? Is there a way? Have you thought of it? Anything?
No, I mean, I like the way it plays out. I mean, it's a little bit of agility now. Them running out, they had to sprint back and forth, so they had to be in shape there to get the most money. So now that whoever gets the most money, so I don't know if that's good
Not
because if
necessarily,
you're
though,
if you're
because
slow,
tubes
if
had
you're
different denominations of money in it. So
yeah, and that was different too, right? But yeah, they had to go out and get them, and I think there was a lot of calories burnt there and just doing that. So now they're really hungry.
okay, what about though? Okay, so
I
at one
mean, except Andy, because he was walking smart again. Didn't want to burn off any calories.
Yeah, because he thought all that through.
Of course he did.
Maybe they could limit, like, maybe, do you think they could limit, like, if you could only bid on half your money at any one time or something, like limit the amount that they can put out so that it keeps more players in the game? I don't, because they were just saying, oh, here's $800 for that, and they're out, they're safe.
So some
And,
people
and then you could just look at, okay, who had the next most? That's going to be the next person, and who had the next most. So it was kind of predictable.
Except for cashback. Cashback
was cashback was
twist.
a wrench. But I don't know. Like, I don't know how else you could control it other than controlling the amount that they can bid.
Someone was suggesting that maybe putting out a menu of like what items potentially could be forbid. So there'd be like the burger is going to be $600 and the fries are this. And so you would know how much money you would have. And then you'd be like, oh, maybe I want to hold out for the fries that I really want, or the ice cream sundae for $400. And so maybe that would allow people to bid potentially, or know to not bid on something because they know that there's a potential that something that they want more would be in their price range. Maybe. It could, I don't know. I just thought it kind of lacked what I like about the original auction was people like really bidding against this person because they really want that chocolate sundae, it just ended up being the person with the highest amount of money got whatever was up next.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, meh.
I mean, the game's evolving. So, last time I said I love the old. Remember last week? I said I love old over new, but I'm starting to shift. I mean, it's evolving. It's a new game. It's got more excitement, different excitement. People don't know what to expect now. So it's a different game. It's definitely more like a game show. Absolutely. It's not as much, Outlast and all of that stuff. Definitely not as much Outwit either. So the social is not as big as it used to be. But yeah, I kind of like the evolution of the game right now.
Because you like this episode, probably.
Now here is something that I discovered in my super sleuthing. So this is like,
wait, do I need to bring down your
banner? It had to do with this piece, and the piece was that Jeff had to reach into a bag and choose a number between 6 and 15, which would determine how many menu items were going to be brought forth after the initial 5, right? But they never revealed that number. They didn't reveal it to us by overhead camera. It was totally kept up to Jeff. So there was some discussion that, Jeff kind of called the shots.
Absolutely.
Jeff decided who was going to, because he could see, right? Who has the money? Where is it going? And Jeff, so I don't know what you guys think of that, but that was kind of part of there was that slant.
So do you think that in the end that Jeff maybe wanted Sam to be in the hot seat here?
Maybe.
I don't know, but yeah, he should have at the end flipped it over.
Yeah,
at the very least.
It was never revealed.
Never revealed. Yeah, good one. Super sleuth.
Yeah, so I mean that's something to think about because Jeff controlled that. Yep. He controlled the outcome. We don't know if he did. He might have adhered to what he pulled, but we don't know.
So do you think that they had maybe a conversation with the production and being like, okay, so we'll end it if this person had, like, who do we think would
I
be
don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No, or
You just think
I mean,
he on
Jeff's
his
going to
phone?
see the numbers, right?
No, he saw it. Well,
He would have seen the board. He would have seen, okay, who has the most? Where's it going? Who's going to be next to
Because it
bid?
wasn't
Like,
2 at one point, and like, you know, he's, I have another one. I have another one.
right.
I love his incongruency on purpose. Did you see that?
With like what is carrying them. Well, let's talk through what people won, and we'll see how much we like them. So this is happening on day 14. So they're not even really, it's not even 2 weeks, but okay. The first item, Saul ends up winning, and he pays $60 for some chips and a soft drink. That's a pretty good buy. Chips.
And so, how much cash did he have going in?
Oh, I don't remember how much cash he had. I took a picture of the board. Hold on. Where's my phone? Oh, I don't know where my phone is. But
No worries. I was just kind of curious how much cash he had going in.
I feel like he had quite a bit because he bought a few items. So yeah. Item number 2 was the mac and cheese. That was for all her money. Teeny gets it for $640.
Smart move. That one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, right, you're just gonna get some mac and cheese, like, use all your money, you get to eat, and yeah, you don't lose your vote.
Was Saul's covered? I can't remember. Was that a covered item, or was that
yet, no?
No. Okay.
The first covered item was, remember, him coming out, and they're like, oh, I don't know if it's a good one. It was the salsa chips, guac, and a margarita for $800 purchased by Sierra, and that was not even all of her money. So she did win, find a lot of money. That'd be probably my favorite one. I like all those things on that.
You like all those things, do you?
I do. Now there is a bit of a Survivor. What's it called when
Curse?
Not lore, but superstition happening, that apparently the last, I believe, 4 people that have won the margarita at the auction have all gone home that
episode.
Oh,
wow.
So it's her, Sierra, spoiler alert, it was Kelly in 45, and then 2 other people back before season 40, like a while back when they still had the auction. So it looks like if I was a Survivor, I will not be taking that one.
No, you don't want that one.
Just don't want.
Well, she didn't have a choice. It was covered, so right? Wasn't it covered?
Yeah.
Well, she had to take it then, right?
Yeah.
So it's bad luck.
She enjoyed it. She enjoyed her fake selfie. You know, she
selfie with Jeff. Yes.
Yeah.
Item number 4. It's also closed. Kyle buys it for $560. Now, Sam says that he will give his money to Jeff. Like, I think it was all of his money. Oh, actually, this falls into
Gabe.
thing now.
Wasn't it Gabe?
No, it was Sam.
Okay.
And so he says, I'll give you all my money. If it's meat, I can buy the meat. And Jeff says no to Sam. Kyle comes up. It's a plate of chicken wings with like carrots and celery. Kyle's a vegetarian. Well, he was a vegan, but he became vegetarian probably just to go on Survivor.
That's what he said, yeah.
He does eat the chicken wing. But going to your point, Sheila, he said no to Sam being able to spend all of his money on those wings.
See? Things that make you go,
It's interesting.
But the thing is that Kyle already won that auction, right? Or is this before?
No, it was before.
Kyle had already won. Or is he saying if it's meat, then I'll pay for it and I'll give you all my money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like just give him additional money. Being like, hey, like Kyle's already purchased this item, but if it's meat, can I give you all my money for it? And he said no.
Okay.
No sharing. Like, what? Come on
Well,
now.
they never had sharing before, did they? No.
Sometimes they let you pool your money together with somebody else.
Right.
Oh, did they?
They've
Okay.
done that before.
I didn't know that. Well, not this year in
Not
the
this time,
new
because it
Survivor.
seems like he wants Sam to lose his vote. I'm with you, Sheila, right now.
Oh gosh, you super spooks.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's see if any of the watchers, any of our watchers comment on that and what they think about it as we go along.
Yeah, Glenda, Dreadful, Naomi, do you guys think
What do you guys think?
it's possible that Jeff was intending for Sam to lose his vote here? Because it's interesting.
It's interesting. Let's see
Okay,
what they
item
think.
number 5 is.
Hold on a second. We haven't finished with Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle's a vegetarian.
Yes.
I mean, he's not vegan. He's a vegetarian. He gets those chicken wings, and he's like sucking the marrow right out of the bone.
Don't make me sick.
You know, this is a vegetarian, but he's like finger licking good.
No, he definitely did not. Like the whole thing, I was like, ooh, that's somebody that eats meat. Like,
Yeah, he's now eating meat. He's a meat eater now.
now
I
I
mean,
wonder though, maybe what his reasonings behind not eating meat anymore. So I'm curious because
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I think what that piece did though is that it showed that he's really a risk taker because he didn't know what was in the tray and he was willing to bid on it, sight unseen. So that to me showed that he's a risk taker, he's willing to take risk, and
but it also shows that he's willing to do anything to stay in the game or whatever.
Yes,
he's
exactly, and is hungry, absolutely.
I don't know if it's good for his game necessarily because it will show that he will, like, if it's a moral thing, he'll break his morals, for his own gain. So I don't know, because he was also coming across as really wholesome and like he's such a good guy and family man and all this stuff and morals and all. And so then he's like, as soon as he gets tempted by a chicken wing, like that's all goes out the window. So it might make me just look at him a little bit differently. I still think he's a nice guy and all that jazz. And but I'm just curious now as to what his threshold is to uphold his morals.
Well, I would eat the meat.
I'd eat the meat too.
I haven't eaten meat since 1989, but I would eat the meat.
Okay, so wait, that's like 35 years. That's
Yeah, I would eat the meat.
Sheila, would you eat the meat? Would you suck it like Kyle did?
No. I would eat it reluctantly. I don't like the texture, and I don't. But heck, it's been 2 weeks since I've had real food. Yeah, I'm gonna eat the meat.
But they had such a big plate. He could have just picked off the nice parts because I hate the veins, right? So you could have picked off the nice parts at least, and ate that. But looks like he wanted to really get everything out of them.
Went at it with enjoyment. It's like he really missed it or something. I don't know. Like, this was a treat.
Yeah, no, I would definitely eat the meat. I wouldn't eat it. That's why I keep on picturing when you said veins. I'm like, I like the veins. So
you remember that? Yeah. What's this? Can I?
Says I could see Jeff knowing that Andy taking one of them out was the best TV outcome. So maybe this is falling into Sheila's sleuthing here.
Production, yeah.
Dreadful also says, I think Kyle has used that cheat day line a time or two.
True.
Okay, so Naomi says, I have watched previous episodes and wondered if Jeff or production was interfering. It didn't occur to me on this episode until you all brought it up. I can believe it.
Oh,
there you go.
Don't mean to be creating such doubt. But I don't know. That was an interesting fact that interesting concept that came up this week. Anyway,
Jeffrey says maybe it's not a morality thing. Maybe he's that way for nutritional reasons.
Who knows?
And if he said otherwise, I don't remember. But that's the kind of thing I'd easily miss. About his eating meat. I feel like his wife doesn't eat meat, and so he doesn't eat meat. I think that's what he said, but I could be making that up.
Really? Well, the thing is that he went from vegan to vegetarian, right, to eating meat now. So he said that he went vegetarian to prepare for the show, right, or something like that, right? But what was interesting about his plate, if you see his plate, the vegetables were still on his plate.
Didn't eat
He
any of
didn't,
the
pick,
Oh.
veggies?
he didn't pick up that celery. He didn't pick up that carrot.
I mean,
He went straight
I
for the
love
meat.
carrots.
He didn't even pick those up and eat them. He went straight for the meat. This is a vegetarian.
Was there any like blue cheese dressing or?
It was
Yeah.
ranch. He had ranch. He was
Gross.
dipping the chicken wings in the ranch, sucking that.
I think in a secret scene, I didn't see it, but I heard someone talk about it, that Teeny was trying to switch the wings for the mac and cheese with Kyle, and they also said no. So
Oh,
apparently.
That was a big bowl of mac and cheese she had.
It was bigger than Teeny.
I know. Maybe she wanted some variety. I don't know.
She's so small. Well, she's probably like, hey, I can't finish this. You want this, Kyle? I'll have your wings, like, so you can eat something. But they didn't let it happen. So round 5 here. It was Gabe, and it started with an for $660, and it was covered. And he wasn't excited about not getting what he was going to be getting. He hasn't eaten yet, poor guy. It is a coconut, and not even filled with coconut water, filled with water.
Cold water. That was it.
Water. That's so rude.
At least it was cold. I mean,
well, if they put back like cold coconut water, I actually love. I don't know if you have Blue Monkey coconut water in the States, but like Blue Monkey is so good with pulp. And like, if you put that back in cold, and I would be like, okay, this is a treat. But water in a coconut, poor guy.
Yeah, I'm not a coconut water drinker because in the islands, I tried it when I was a kid. I didn't like it.
Oh, maybe you tried. Remember how Saul chopped the coconut?
That's how I had it. Yeah, that's why I had it in the islands.
It was rancid. Maybe yours is rancid.
Thanks. Thanks. But
well,
no,
I
didn't like
why I don't like whipped cream. So I don't know if I've told you guys this story before, but in grade like 7, you remember? Oh, actually, yeah, you'll remember. You can't do that on television, right? The show.
I do not.
Remember Alanis Morissette's original show, and where the gag was you get slimed if you got like a question wrong.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
It was on YTV. I remember. Yeah. I only remember Alanis, like Alanis Morissette because her father was your lawyer, something like that. I get.
Well, anyway. Her father was part of a project on our team that we had. But yeah, you remember? Like very good.
Anyways, so going along with that theme, we were in French class and we were doing like if you got a question wrong, you'd get slimed, and so I said my answer. And I got it wrong and I got slime, but the slime was having whipped cream put all over my face. And so this can of whipped cream was rancid. And it was all over my face, up my nose, it was in my ears, it was in my eyes, it was all in my hair. Like it was so gross. And I can still even to this day smell rancid whipped cream if I think about it. So if I even have fresh, like I smell fresh whipped cream or taste a little bit, I can taste the rancidness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that happened to me in England when I was a kid with yogurt.
I have a yogurt problem too. You know that, right?
No, I hate yogurt.
I don't hate it. I can't stand the
smell. I can't be near anyone that's eating it. I hate it.
Okay, but you don't know my yogurt story?
No.
You must know, but just not know that you know. But when I was like 2 years old at like the daycare, I remember having strawberry flavored yogurt and getting so sick that I was like, I don't know how long it was, but like for 2 days, I was just throwing up this strawberry flavored yogurt. And ever since then, I will not have yogurt because it's disgusting.
Yeah, similar story. Because I was up in England visiting my dad's sister. And this is when I was maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. And she gave me yogurt. I vomited in the yogurt and I got a beating. I got a beating when I vomited in the yogurt. So yeah, that's a significant emotional experience for me. I can't stand the yogurt.
I wonder if there's something genetically that makes me not be able to have yogurt. Like maybe because, okay, I haven't had yogurt since, except for I remember I had an audition and I'm like, oh, they'll never make you eat yogurt in the audition. I'll deal with it on the day if I book the role. they made me eat yogurt. I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
So I took like
Oh.
the teeniest little bit and like it was so small. And I was like, okay, it tastes gross, but like it's not as bad as like I remember. But then how it feels like is like the inside of me is just like fighting it, saying no, no, no. And like my heart just starts racing and I could projectile vomit on command. And so I'm like, this is not for me. This is not for me. I tried tzatziki once by accident. I got so sick. I was like, okay, yogurt is not my vibe. So yeah, gross.
Some people love it.
Some people are just like, when I think about people just eating yogurt, it really could make me vomit. It's so gross. You're like, oh, strawberry or like frozen yogurt. I'm like, froyo. I'm like, so gross. Sheila, but you like yogurt though, no? Oh my God, you even know this.
Yeah. I don't want to say it.
Outnumbered.
Yeah.
Definitely outnumbered. Or like we'll vomit on you. Sorry.
Yeah, great. Perfect.
Well, speaking of whipped cream, Saul does get a gigantic apple. It didn't even look like an apple pie. Like it looked like an apple cake or something. That he was allowed to put all of his whipped cream on, and he made it into the number 47. He spent $540 for this apple pie, but he had $60 cash back. So maybe Jeff kind of, I guess he doesn't know that Saul's going to win it, so it wasn't specific. But he wants people to have money to potentially lose their vote, which is so mean.
That's where Andy's smart.
That's true. He's just not involved. He's just not going to lose his vote. Rachel is next. Hers is covered. She pays $500. She feels like it's a burger. And it was a burger and beer. She got it right. Now, how
fries.
Sorry. How did you feel about how Jeff was coming out with doing his best acting role? I mean, like he's doing some Shakespeare in the park with his different trays that he's bringing out. You're smiling.
Did you hear it? I really didn't hear it. I mean, I didn't get it.
He's just being much.
He's trying to be an actor. Oh, this is really heavy. Oh, it's he's hamming it up, giving his best acting gig. So Rachel sits back down with her burger and fries. And while she's sitting down, she notices a little piece of paper in her fries. And she's sitting next to Sue. I don't remember who's on the other side of her. I think it was Saul's on the other side of her.
Yeah, it was
and
Saul.
She's realizing that it might be a clue. And so I love watching her and then hearing her narrate like how she was feeling at that time. And then she takes it and she's able to shove it in her bra without anybody noticing. Her heart must have been racing. I thought it was pretty slick and pretty lucky for her.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Happy Meal. With the Happy Meals, they used to have little toys in them years ago. I don't know if they still do. So it was like a Happy Meal, right? She got the burger, fries, and she got the beer. It was like a Happy Meal. Got a little prize in there. I thought
that's probably why they put it with that meal.
Probably. You think so?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like that's
It's
good.
a Happy Meal.
Yeah,
and she became happy.
Yeah,
I'm thinking though it could also be hidden, like obviously in the fries, but not too blatantly obvious. Like if you couldn't really put it in the apple pie, you could maybe have put it in the nachos and salsa, maybe.
I thought that was a good twist.
Could have put it in.
No one knows she's got
chips.
it. So I thought that was good.
Well, back
could
in
have
the
been
day,
at the bottom of anything, but yeah.
Back in the day, I think the reason why Jeff stopped liking the auction is because people used to be saving all their money to hold out to buy an advantage or buy an idol or something like they wouldn't be bidding on things because they were hoping to save their money for something more advantageous in the game. And so that's why they stopped the auction for like 10 years and they just brought it back in 45 in a broken kind of way. It's not really an auction anymore, but that's how they used to do it though before, is that like people it would be covered and you'd be like, oh, is it going to be an advantage or is it going to be spaghetti and meatballs? So Genevieve is next with item number 8, and she's giving all of her money, of course, for a dessert platter. What would be maybe more maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to fix this whole like spend all your money thing. Like maybe he draws an amount, and so if you are over this amount, or if it's this amount, you lose your vote or something. And so like you wouldn't know if it's like a high number or a low number. I don't know, something else.
Like the Price is Right? Is that what you're saying? You want to turn it into the Price is Right?
I mean, that seems like what Jeff's trying to do, is more game showy, right?
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sheila's like, no, you're not buying that one, no.
I
I don't know. It's not that exciting for people just to give all their money for an item to protect their vote, right?
Right. I agree.
It's predictable.
Exactly. It's like, okay, this person.
Cashback makes it unpredictable, though.
That's true. The cashback throw is a wrench.
Maybe they all get cash back then, maybe. But that would help it.
The game will never end.
Well, it would be who.
Well, it will when Jeff says it's over, but
whoever has the most money and Jeff wants them out or to lose them out.
That's when the game ends.
So Genevieve gets a dessert platter. While she's getting a dessert platter is when Rachel is sneaking the advantage into her bra. The number 9 is. Go ahead.
No, I got a question for you. Do they have to eat all of the food there, or can they take it back, or they only get to eat while they're there?
Only eat while they're at the auction.
But he at some point says, "Okay, that's it, bye," and you leave your food there, or can you sit and finish your food?
I don't think so.
My mother always told me to eat everything on my plate.
I hear you. They probably were going to try, but as soon as the auction's over, I think that all eating stops.
Yeah, there's no way that Genevieve could eat all of that.
No, you saw her just sitting there like picking. Actually, that's one thing that I loved about Genevieve when she was running around finding the scrolls, keeping herself motivated. She's like, chocolate, potato salad. I wouldn't say potato salad, but like chocolate, potato salad, and like
poutine or something like that, or
I can't
remember.
What was the next one? She's Canadian. Poutine.
Yeah.
You know
what
poutine.
Is poutine in Canadian?
It's gravy and fries.
With cheese curds.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's very Canadian. Come on, you've forgotten about poutine?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because we don't eat gravy.
Oh, fair. Poutine.
I'll take a fry one.
Anyways, poutine's very good. It's very Montreal, but it's also very Canadian. So number 9 is the Survivor Outwit, Outplate, Outbreakfast Sunrise Spectacular. And Sue was really ready to bid all of her money for this, but no, there's going to be a little bit of a twist. It's going to be $200 to enter to compete for this breakfast. The people wanting to compete is Sue, Sam, Caroline, and Sierra. And they have to eat 2 grubs in order for them, the fastest person to get it all down is going to get the breakfast. You guys both winced. I may have saw a slight gag. Eating these grubs was disgusting.
Especially when you look at the platter it was on, and there was more than just grubs on that platter. What was that brown stuff on the platter?
I don't know what that. I was thinking that because the brown stuff was on the plate that Jack had, but not the one that he gave to them. So I was thinking it was maybe to show, like, it was like a pill to show measurement, to show how big the grub was.
No, it was poop, I think. I think it was poop.
I want to think
that was hanging out of Sue's mouth at some point. I don't know, but it was.
I was gagging watching that. It was really gross.
Okay. I don't care how hungry you are, but that's like.
Yeah, it'd be.
But it would ruin my appetite, right? I'd be like, oh, now I'm gonna eat like a breakfast with having like grub saliva. Like.
At least Sam can put that on his list of foods that he does eat. I don't eat pineapple, but I eat grubs.
Oh, it was so disgusting. They used to have those grubs a lot in the olden days.
Yeah, in Fear Factor.
Yeah, oh my God, Fear Factor. So that was so many gross things.
But older Survivor had that too. Every season they had to eat something disgusting.
Yeah,
at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, grubs came around a lot. They're just so big. Why are we gonna eat 2?
And they move.
Oh my God,
it's just gross.
I think Rachel.
They're hairy. They're hairy.
Oh God.
Oh, stop.
So gross.
Look at, there's first.
Sierra's out. She's like, I'm good. I'm not doing this. I'm out. Sue, Sam, and Caroline do try the grubs, but Sam gets it down first, so he wins the breakfast platter. Ugh. The next, do you want to talk any more about the grubs?
No, it was just his appetizer,
Sue is next, and she is able to buy a Survivor burrito and an iced tea. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, she was happy about
10.
that.
Item number 11, Caroline purchases, and it is fish eyes that she does take a nice bite out of.
And crunchy.
How big does that fish have to be? Seriously. Like, what kind of fish has got eyes that big? It must have been a huge fish.
Yeah, it's really big.
Unless it's just a little fish with big eyes. That's the type of
It's all eyes.
Oh.
All eyes, this fish.
Oh,
That was so
she chowed down on that, though. She did good. She chowed down on that, got whatever she gets out of it. Like,
Boy, she got money back. I said and money. I don't know how much money she got back. And then item number 12 was Sierra. She gets to share this with people. And so it's peanut butter and chocolate. And she chooses Caroline and Gabe to eat this. And I was like, wow. Like, okay, I get it. Andy, you don't think about him, but he hasn't been able to play this entire auction. Yes, Gabe and Caroline both got bad items, you know what I mean? But they got to participate and purchase. Like, Sierra, why aren't you taking Andy here? I thought it was another
Very telling.
bad move.
But believe me, Andy's taking notes. Andy is taking notes. As you can see here, as we move forward, he's definitely taking notes on that because, yeah, she took Caroline. I get her taking Gabe. He hasn't eaten anything all 15 days or for that amount of time, right? Just what do you say? He only ate things from the earth or something like that for the last 15 days. So I get her pulling him, but to not bring Andy, I mean, Andy kind of started slinking down further in the chair there. Why not me? So I felt a little sad for him.
I absolutely felt sad for him. And yeah, maybe she could say like, oh, I didn't want people to think that we're working together or those two just got bad items at the auction. But you know that Andy was kind of down on himself for not finding any tubes and you had the most amount of tubes. I thought that when she had the most amount of tubes, she's like, Andy, here's a tube. I'll give you a tube. Something like that was going to happen. And then when she has an opportunity, I thought she's going to be like, come on, Andy, you didn't get to play, but you get to have some peanut butter. Like, and he'd been so happy and chocolate. Exactly.
Come and dip your hand in this,
And it didn't. I was like, I was just shocked. I just did not see a world where Andy wouldn't have been joined in on the shared item.
Agreed.
Sierra. So Sam at the end of this, because that was the last item, has the most amount of money and will be losing his vote. So of course, Sam is going to be upset about the fact that he's lost his vote. He's kind of talking to the group back at camp. And then Rachel goes off to read the clue that she has, learning that there is an idol sewed into the corner of the tarp at their camp. You guys like this?
I did. It was like Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible when she went for it. So I thought that was great.
Definitely, I mean, that's scary stuff, but I was like, man,
my heart was pumping. It was like, oh my God, she's gonna get caught.
Like what? I'm like, she's like, oh my God, I have to do this to get this. Like, I wonder if there was like a time limit. Like, could she have waited until they all went to bed, or like, did it have to be done? I guess she wanted to get it done before tribal. Just
she had to get it done before tribal.
She's got like 9 lives, honestly.
Yep. Well, that's why, like, the final destination, like, is it going to catch up to her? I don't know. Teeny, Sierra, and Rachel all talk about taking out the Tuku men first. Kyle, then Gabe. If Kyle wins immunity, then Gabe would be the person that they take out. This makes sense, but G-Daddy, you're saying that Gabe talked to everybody about keeping the guys together? Was that you? That
was last episode, yeah.
And so like, I think it's interesting that they haven't showed any of that on like the actual episode, but I do think that it's something that's still running through the minds of like Saul and maybe even Andy, that like, we still want to keep the male numbers up, but make it look like we're maybe entertaining taking them out. Genevieve, though, wants to steer the votes towards Gata and saying that Rachel being out first, and she's telling this to Caroline, and Caroline loves this, and she's like, that's exactly what I want to do. And she's like giving props to Genevieve about having the same thought process that she has. So I'm wondering how long they'll be able to work together before they realize that they're both really strategic and strong.
I thought that scene was great. I mean, I really did when they're walking down to the water on the beach, because if you notice, Genevieve is in front and the two of them were behind. So she was definitely leading them to what, wherever she wanted to take them. And they were listening because they were walking behind her. She was definitely the leader there of those three. I thought that was very interesting.
Well, and then also, though, she lowered herself to the water and was having the conversation from like a submissive position also, which I think would subliminally make it not look as though that she was leading the pack here and guiding, but like she was offering her opinion, but in like a submissive stance. So I was like,
very, very interesting.
Also, the dynamics there was making her look less dominant, I thought, too.
Like she's just thinking, so she was just thinking out loud, basically. So I thought that was good. I thought she did a good job there. You're Genevieve.
I love Genevieve. Go Canada. Dreadful says, I was watching Jake on a podcast earlier, and he said he really doubts it happened that way, and that there would have been a wide shot if they were all really sitting there. Talking about the tarp part. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, okay, I mean, that also makes sense as well, because I was like, it looked as though when she's like, we haven't gotten exactly that part yet, but it looks as though she's doing it and they're right beside her, but we don't see it all together. So that is true. Because I thought, I'm like, it seems really obvious that she's doing something that someone you'd think would notice with like a machete. Like,
you'd hear her trying to cut into it. You'd hear that.
So yeah, he's right that there wasn't a wide shot seeing everybody with her cutting. So that makes sense.
Good catch.
Oh no, actually it is right there. Rachel with the machete cutting out the idol. So it was in that exact moment. But that's interesting though, that it wasn't necessarily in the same shot. They made it look like it was though. All right, we get to our immunity challenge here. The last man and woman is going to win immunity here. Basically, they have a handle with a rope tied to it, linked to a bucket, holding up the weight of a quarter of their body weight from when they started the game. And this is the one that Charlie from last season was saying he was practicing his grip strength for, what we were talking about before. And so got to practice that grip strength, because it was seemingly really hard to hold up a quarter of your body weight for the beginning of the game. That sucked. People weren't very good at this.
How's that? Is that fair? Because if it's a larger person and they lose a lot of body weight because they have a lot of body weight to lose, but now they're trying to hold on to
a quarter of their original weight.
A quarter of their original weight. It's all about strength at that point, going into it. So is that really fair? Because some people like Teeny doesn't have strength really, or some of these players don't have strength. So I think a lot of the challenges are based on strength and athletic ability, obviously. But that strength piece is hard for a lot of people to be able to hold that up.
How could we make it more fair?
I don't know. I really don't know. Just thinking about it, like, I really don't know, how they would do that. But yeah, it just seems to me that anyone going in there that has got that grip strength that's strong is going to obviously do better on that challenge.
Though Sam was out first, I believe. Sam and Genevieve were out first. Sam is a strong guy. He was saying,
you're right. You're right.
He was probably about 200 pounds when he went into the game. And so holding up 50 pounds at this point, he wasn't able to do. So
no, I stand corrected.
It's kind of hard to make it equalized here. I don't know. But because I don't think it would be fair if everybody was holding the same amount of weight. So maybe the men hold a certain amount of weight and the women hold a certain amount of weight, but that also
no, you're right.
fair.
You're right.
Sorry, say that again.
I said,
clip it, clip this, guys, clip this.
Oh, my mic wasn't working. Sorry.
Okay, so Sam is out, Genevieve is out, Teeny is out. This is all in less than 1 minute that they started this challenge. Sierra's out, Gabe, then Caroline. Now it's going to be for the women, Sue versus Rachel, and then for the men, Saul, Andy, and Kyle are the last men standing. So seemingly that people that don't have that much body weight, like they're like more lean,
right?
Yeah, like more lean or not super heavy. So maybe like around, the guys seem like they're probably like 100 and maybe 70 pounds or 180 pounds. Like they're able to do like a 35-pound type thing. Seems something like that. So Saul is out first between those three guys, and then Rachel is out, meaning Sue, our 45-year-old pilot, is going to win for the women. And good try, Andy, but he is losing here, and Kyle is going to get his third win in a row. Now, I don't think Kyle is a dangerous player, but the fact that he's takes up this immunity again, I want to get him out. I want to
absolutely
out of here.
When I see Kyle with the immunity idol, it's like, those sandwich board, where they walk around with something on the front and they got the bat on the back. He's got the bat on the front, bat on the back, and he's walking around. It's like one of those sandwich board advertisers. I got an idol, and even when he doesn't have it, they notice the one on his back. So the great anchor there or not great anchor for him, because everyone sees that and he's 1-3. So it reminds him every single time that they see that on his back too. So yeah, I probably most likely, I don't know, but no, he couldn't let Andy win because again, he would have been the target winning 2 in a row. So I mean, he's doing his thing. He's got to win. He's got to win all of them.
Yeah, that's right.
He has to win all of them because he doesn't have. He's Tuku, which they already want out because there's too many of them, and he's winning all these immunities. He's just going to have to win out because I just don't see anybody wanting to bring him in to work with him moving forward at this point. He's not a number that anybody needs, really.
You don't want to take him to the end anyways, right?
Yeah, well, he'll win his way to the end. I don't know if people would vote for him to win, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to. Well, okay. You don't think that they would vote for him if he got it to the end and his?
I don't think that they would necessarily respect just winning immunities to get to the end as an outwit, right?
Okay.
Like, would they want someone that only won immunities to represent season 47?
No, that's I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but yeah. I don't know.
I'm just not sure if the people left in the game would honor that with a win. But it
I know in the olden days that was a big thing.
I hated those wins.
You did?
Well, like Mike Holloway did one of those, and the Ben Bombs, Ben Dream.
Brian, I think his name was Brian originally, or the second one was that guy, good looking guy.
Ethan?
No, and I think it was season 2 or 3.
Kobe,
yeah, he won them all. Or won a lot of them, and he got praised for that. I think he came in second that year.
He came second to Tina, who's like Sheila. I always thought Tina and Sheila were like similar. Do you remember Tina?
Yeah, now that you say that, yeah.
Even Rob won a lot of immunity challenges. Rob,
Boston Rob,
didn't he? Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know
his tenure,
Boston
but
Rob,
like he didn't go on.
Rob win what?
He didn't want to win to the end of the game, though. You know what I mean? Like if he, like he's played 4 times, 4 or 5, and so he's had different kind of wins, but he didn't go on like a winning streak to the end of the game and then win the game because of that.
Wow.
There's only been like a few people that have won the game because of that winning streak.
Okay.
And so I think, though, for the most part, people don't want him to take a spot in the final 3 because he wins his way there.
It doesn't garner the same respect as someone who strategically played the game, I think.
In my opinion. And with this, it seems like this is a more strategic group.
Right?
Yeah,
like, definitely.
We'll see what Jeff decides.
Oh man, you're going to start a conspiracy
Oh my gosh, I don't
theory
do that.
all
It's
over the
always
internet.
there.
All
Everybody.
over the internet. It's going to be all over Reddit. It's going to be, did you hear that?
Oh my god.
So wait, the 8 voted out first member of the jury, ages just a number, Sue. Oh, right. So yes. So yeah, this round is going to be the 8th person voted out of the game, and this person voted out will be the first member of their jury. Sue does get a hug from Jeff. So did Sierra also give him a hug? No, at the end. Sorry. So Sue gave him a hug here. I was proud of Sue. Good on her.
Me too.
Probably because she's quite petite.
Good on her. She's in good shape.
She's strong, good shape, and she was doing it for her family and all the people back home that are watching that are going to be proud of her. And she was like tearing up. I couldn't really tell, but she was tearing up.
So Teeny thinks that 2 non-safe Tuku are going to be up for the vote. So that would be Caroline and Gabe potentially, and wanting to have the Gata and Lavo alliance working together. So that's kind of what was decided on that reward at the merge not merge feast. Now I still remember Genevieve being like, if Tuku's broken up, maybe we don't need to come together and stick together in that group of 7. I remember her saying something like that. And it's just interesting with how things go through is that it's not really that alliance coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Andy does feel a little bit behind in the game and asks Sierra, like, what's going on? He feels a little bit left out. He doesn't know what's happening. And she doesn't really give him any sort of reassurance. That in her confessional, she basically says that she doesn't value Andy as a player, and she's just basically dragging him along until they tire of him and they get rid of him. I'm like, not people feel that energy. Like,
yeah. And yeah, I mean, when she's talking to Andy, she's saying, you know, are you still my sister or brother or something like that? Something like that. You know, tell me, are you? And so she wanted to get the commitment from him, but she didn't give any commitment to him. You know, so I thought that was a little interesting. But I thought what she did was mean because he's going to see the show and it's like he's a human being, you know, and so the feelings and all that stuff was not there. For her to say that on camera, I just thought that, I mean, it was cruel. It was very cruel to me.
Yeah, I was upset that Sierra is just completely not caring about Andy, the person. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So Andy feels like he's expendable. He's just an expendable piece here. I definitely, I laughed in a pleasant way when you see him walking, throws his glasses, shakes out his hair. Like I audibly chuckled because I was tickled by, you know, this seeing the evolution of Andy and the she's all that moment. So you went back and saw the movie title, and so you know.
Yeah, so I had to look up what it was about, right? And then I remembered, okay, I've seen that on Netflix, like the preview on Netflix. But yeah, I mean, it's typical of these those shows, I guess. But I saw him as Superman. So I saw Clark Kent and Superman is what I saw. So I didn't hear him say she's all that at first or his all that. But I did definitely see him as Superman, you know, taking off his glasses as Clark Kent and becoming Superman. I thought that was great. Again, I'm dating myself because that one I think was back in the 50s when we had that Superman back then, right?
I mean,
it was in black and white. Let me put it this way. It was in black and white, the one that I was thinking of.
Who was Superman then? Do you know?
Reeves. No,
it
wasn't Christopher Reeves. It was way before that.
Before him.
I'm talking about when it was in black and white.
Like Kirk Douglas
and the way that they flew was kind of weird, and it's like it was. I'm going back to the 50s, really, 50s or 60s, when that show was going. Not that I was there at that time. I'm talking about I watched reruns because, as you know, I'm only 45.
Exactly. Same age as Sue. We're all the same age as Sue. Sheila, did you like this moment? The she's all that moment of Andy?
Of course.
I loved it. I loved it. And he's like, well, now I'm at the merge. Look at me. And that's what also that I'm impressed by. Hopefully he's able to harness it and doesn't let it go too much to his head. But he sees what's going on. He recognizes that he is not being a valued part of this Gata alliance. He's recognizing it time after time. He's being picked last. People in the beginning wasn't cheering for him, didn't care about him being around, not inviting him to have the peanut butter and chocolate. And there was one more thing that I can't think of right now that they just didn't do. Oh, they allowed him to be the decoy boat. Like, these are major things that I would hope that my closest allies would not allow happen. And so he's definitely picking up on these signs, and they're not being slick. Russ says George Reeves. Maybe. So maybe
George Reeves. Yeah, that was it.
That
was it. Father? Absolutely. Thank you, Russ. That was it.
Is that his father, or no? Is there?
No. At least no, because it's Christopher Reeves. I think.
No, he said Reeves after. So let's see, George Reeves. Okay, George Reeves. Oh, look at it, all black and white. Let's see, children. It doesn't say he had any children. George Reeves was an American actor. He is best known for portraying Clark Kent, Superman, in the television series Adventures of Superman. His death was caused by a gunshot at age 45. Remains controversial.
Oh my God.
The official finding was suicide, but then some believe that it was murder of a victim of an accidental shooting. It doesn't say if they're related though. Sorry. It's Christopher Lee's and related to George Reeves. They are not related.
Okay.
Wow.
So we both had the Reeves, right? So yeah, that's what I remember. It was really hokey, but that's all the shows were hokey back then, right?
Compared
to now, definitely CGI and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and it's Christopher Reeve, not Reeves.
Oh, okay, so they're both Reeve.
Well, no, it's George Reeves and Christopher Reeve.
Okay.
Okay.
Learn something.
Unless that's the Mandela effect. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's always Christopher Reeves. But I don't know. So Andy does talk to Caroline, and he's just like, they think I'm expendable here. Like, I'm ready to flip. Caroline's like, let's do it. Like, Caroline is loving the fact that there's some cracks here, saving Tuku, saving herself. And so he's flipping. He goes over to Saul. He's like, I'm Lavo now. I'm Lavo. I'm like, he's Lavo. So him and Saul locked down. He basically is going to everybody, letting them know that, like, I am a valuable piece to pick up. I want to work with you. Let's go after Gata. And everybody's like, let's do it. And so he effectively changed the target from Tuku over onto Gata, potentially. So the consensus is they want to split up Sam and Sierra, being this power, Ken and Barbie, this duo. TD talks to Jen and Saul, and TD wants it to be Sam. She wants to have the girls' alliance be intact, but Saul's in his head. He's like, like, I want Sierra gone. Genevieve wants Sierra gone over Sam. So I'm thinking Saul wants this because of, like, doesn't want to lose the male number potentially. Why do you think Genevieve though would prefer Sierra over Saul? Because of her connection with Rachel?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, but that could be, obviously, because she does have that connection with Rachel, but I couldn't figure it out.
Just Gato. I mean, they're a Gata person.
But I mean, Sam to me would be the first target because he's a stronger, of course. In that respect, but yeah, he hasn't really won a lot of the challenges or anything like that. He hasn't won anything as far as any challenges. Kyle's won them all. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Them flopping back and forth on who they wanted it to be, especially when Teeny was saying she wanted it to be Sam. So maybe that's where the influence came from for Genevieve.
Yeah, Teeny going around pushing for Sam. And then Caroline, she still wants Rachel. Rachel and Sierra are starting to feel weird at camp. Everybody's going around and talking. I thought they were going to figure out what was going on because, like, those vibes at camp before tribal are very important, I would say. And so they were recognizing something weird was going on. Saul wants Sierra because he put in a lot of work with Rachel. He just used this advantage to keep Rachel in the game. So, like, he doesn't want to give up that number immediately. He wants to pay out on this move that he makes. So he wants to hold on to Rachel for a little bit longer. So over at Tribal Council, the game is waiting for war, says Sam. A lot of war analogies are happening here. Gabe mentions that there was I think in the First World War, that both sides, they stopped fighting and they decided to play a game of soccer. And on Christmas Day and the next day, they went back to fighting each other. And he felt as though that the auction was that break in between, this little oasis, and then they're back to aiming at each other. It was like a ceasefire. Teeny talks about them making a milestone here together, actually getting to the merge, actually getting to the jury, and being able to be involved in the entire season, the whole game. Anything else exciting happened in this war-torn talk at Tribal Council?
I didn't get anything there on that. How about you, Sheila?
Nothing that comes to mind.
No, I don't have anything. Sorry, guys.
Genevieve does say, did you notice this, Sheila? That realizing that anyone but yourself is treacherous.
Yeah.
She does have some good lines too. And Sarah says, we will see where all trust lies. It's interesting that they kept her in saying that, because this is true. This is one thing that I was kind of annoyed by, not actually getting to a proper merge vote where everybody's on the beach, everybody has an available vote, or majority of people, is that you get to see who you can trust, who's lying to you. If, like, you know, the way that you think your things are going to go that way, if your instinct was correct or incorrect. Like, you just get a lot of information when you actually go to Tribal Council, and they haven't had that opportunity yet. So this is the first time they're going to really see where they fit into the tribe. And so this, for me, this is the beginning of the season. Like, now we're going to see what's going to happen in this game, because everybody's voting and everybody has their eye on the prize. So I think it's the most exciting portion of the game. Andy does say that he has a plan and a name in mind. And I feel like this is Andy just slightly letting everybody know, whoever goes home tonight, that it was him. Without being like, it was me, but being like, I have a name in mind. I have a plan. If it goes that way, no, it was me, is basically what I thought he was saying.
Right.
But most people, not Andy, raised their hand for being scared. So Andy was not scared about going home this vote.
Oh, he didn't raise his hand? I thought they all did, no?
He was on the far right. I don't remember seeing him raise his hand. Chat, let me know if I'm wrong here. But most people did, anyways, raise their hand for being scared. Except for, I guess, Kyle. So we see Rachel reach into her bag and pull something out. I was thinking it was shot in the dark, just because of like the size of it. It's going to be a little scroll, but it wasn't going to be like the actual little bracelet thing. So she does pull out the shot in the dark, and when they all go get up to vote. They come back down. What's his name? Jeff asks if anybody wants to play anything. Rachel does play her shot in the dark. Now, this is something that's caused a lot of thoughts. I don't know if either of you had any sleuthing to what Rachel's intention was with playing her shot in the dark. Because she plays it, it's revealed that it's not safe. All votes for Rachel will still be intact. And Rachel, like a hawk, was staring at everybody else after she plays the shot in the dark. So there's a lot of speculation as to why she did this. So what are either your thoughts as to her intentions with playing the shot in the dark?
So the question is, could she still play her idol if she chose, or was that time passed?
She would have to do it really quickly.
She would have had to do it pretty much right after.
So is she scanning the room to see, do I need to play my idol, or am I good? Like, is that where she was at?
That's what I think.
That's what I think.
I think some of them, I think the same thing. She looked back and she looked at them to see their reaction.
Right. Yeah, like, are they like,
all about what are their reactions?
Right,
like, geez, we got to change the vote, all of that stuff. Right. So she was looking for the reaction of them to see who's, on her side and who's not. So I thought that was a smart play, smart play to play that one instead of playing the idol right away, for her to think about playing the shot in the dark first to kind of see what pops up, basically.
Flush him out.
Flush it in the mouth. Exactly.
I like that.
Also, it will be like, she will look a little bit less threatening because they won't be like worried about her playing the shot in the dark. So they might not even think that she has an idol. Like they just be like, okay, like she's not going to play the shot in the dark. We're good to vote Rachel if we want to. She got obviously a lot of information as to people's reactions. And also I believe she said, I haven't heard her say this, but I think someone might have seen it in a secret scene or something, or yeah, I think it was a secret scene, was that she did not want to necessarily vote for Gabe. And so that was something that she also didn't want to be able to do. So she didn't want to put her vote on Gabe. So Gabe would be coming back for her if she stayed in there. And then other people were speculating, she didn't say this herself, that she also didn't necessarily want to vote for either Sam or Sierra if she knew that's the way that the votes were going.
So how does it work? If you play the shot in the dark and you don't get it, you lose your vote?
So you don't have a vote when you use your shot in the dark.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's why in, say, episode 1, I think I told you that we learned after that Teeny and Keyshawn told Asia, sorry, episode 3, I told Asia that like they're voting Genevieve with her so that she wouldn't use her shot in the dark. So she'd use her vote. And so like it's either your vote or your shot in the dark. And so so she didn't have a vote. So she didn't vote that round. And Rachel didn't vote this round.
Good.
So,
no target on her back from that.
Say again?
No target on her back from that. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Really smart. She's really smart. And it also shows that she seemed or felt vulnerable, right? So
remember she said it with Sierra. She's like, I don't know, something, I'm feeling off here. Like something, they're running around talking. So she has good powers of perception and good instincts. And she didn't just play her idol willy-nilly here because she was feeling nervous. She took it as an opportunity to gather information. And so she's going to see who lied to her, how people lied to her. So yeah, she got a lot of information, which is great. So the vote is Sam, Sierra, Gabe, and then Sam gets 4, Sierra gets 4, and that means there's going to be a tie. And so now this is another interesting thing that happened that's never really happened in this way, because usually when there's a tie, the 2 people that are voting or that get votes do not vote because their vote would usually cancel each other out, and everybody else would vote. If they can't settle this tie, then they would go to rocks, and whoever draws the bad rock would go home. So because Sam lost his vote at the auction, or maybe this is what he wanted, so maybe there'd be a tie. Like, I don't know what Jeff wanted Sam to not have a vote. But so he says that now Sierra's vote does count because you couldn't have 2 votes not counting. I didn't understand that. But I was then thinking that maybe it's because Rachel doesn't have a vote. So we're just kind of using Sierra's vote as like the Rachel vote, just so that like out of the 3 people there, there was 1 vote that's being cast, if that makes sense. But I just thought it was an odd situation that was happening there, that Sierra got to vote, but I think it's because Rachel didn't have a vote, if that makes sense.
Yeah, a little bit too deep for me on that one.
No problem. Don't want to hurt your head.
But I agree with you.
It makes sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense that that Sierra gets to vote when usually the people that are involved in the tie don't vote. But I think it's because Rachel also, who's not involved in the tie, doesn't have a vote. They gave the person in the tie the vote just so that out of the 3 people, there was at least 1 vote cast that could potentially make the numbers uneven, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Whatever.
The first time. Anyhow, go ahead.
We see Andy when he goes up. I acknowledge that I'm doing you dirty, but I'm a dirty player. I wrote that down from Andy. Sam gets 1 vote, and then the rest of the tribe votes out Sierra. Teeny does do her turnaround to the I'm sorry turnaround. So I think that's to hopefully save her from not losing her vote in the final tribal council if she makes it there. But Sierra is out of the game and will be the first member of the jury.
I love it. She was probably still hungover from the margarita too.
Sierra?
Yeah, she stumbled out.
She was sad. She says, if I'm the biggest threat sitting here, well, I guess that I'm pretty honored. She was pretty sad about it. but she does say thank you. She asks Jeff for a hug. He says, of course. I'm sure he doesn't really want to hug them because they haven't showered or brushed their teeth in like 14 days. Like,
I thought they brushed their teeth.
Huh?
I thought they do brush their teeth,
man.
don't they?
It's like with
No, I thought that they get toothbrushes to brush their teeth. No?
No,
Okay. They don't even get one to share?
I don't think so. Maybe as a reward.
Okay, no, I thought
As a
with
reward.
like twigs, like like
Yeah. Yeah, we see them with that.
So no, that's a 14-day morning breath going on there.
And grub breath.
Ew, grub breath.
One of them.
Grub burps. Ew. Anyways, so Sierra is out of the game, and Andy lives to see another episode. Yay, Andy. Who is our MVP this week?
Rachel.
Yeah, I think Rachel is pretty.
Is that who you think it is?
And I might add, in my super sleuthing, that Rachel's play in this episode elevated her to she's going to win.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people that I read about were saying like that her play was so good, they see her going all the way. And they're saying Sue, Genevieve, and Rachel will be the final three.
Oh.
You don't know,
well, Sue
everyone's got their guesses.
Everyone's got their guesses. Sorry, Andy isn't part of that group. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
I
okay.
Andy's
That's
still
part of
being
his own
dragged
group.
there. I'm curious about Sue. I know she has an idol. I'm wondering if Sue is going to play that idol for somebody, like play it for Gabe, or you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if she's going to use it for somebody other than herself. Curious. I think that would be a better move for her to be looked at as a strategic player. But she has it. Nobody knows about it other than Caroline. So I think it does allow her to move further, move further into the game. I think Andy has a shot at being in the end, though. Like this is another episode that he's titled, like that's pretty important.
Is it?
I think so. Like he's one of the big narrators of this season. You don't have this season without this Andy storyline. You know what I mean?
Of course you don't, because he's the man.
Rachel's definitely is bringing it in, but I'm wondering if she will fizzle out, right? Like she has all eyes on her. She has Caroline looking at her, Genevieve looking at her. I just don't know if she'll be able to evade both of those two coming for her and knowing that she's so smart strategically. So yeah.
Very, very smart. She's got her idol. But I think also Kyle did great this episode because again, physical dominance, third immunity idol. I don't know if it was smart, but he definitely did well this show to definitely show that he can win these challenges and he's willing to make those commitments. So I thought he did well as well.
Should we give him MVP for the men?
No.
No.
I definitely will go with you guys with Rachel.
Do you want a male one as well, or just Rachel?
A male one's got to be Andy.
He's all that. Rachel and Andy. Great. Well, was there anything else about this episode you wanted to talk about before we say ciao?
No, not for us. I mean, that's. I think it's a wrap there, right?
It is a wrap.
We'll see what happens next week.
I know it looks like stuff is going down. It doesn't look like. I mean, obviously it might be misdirects with the edit, but it doesn't look like Genevieve or Andy or Rachel are going to be in the hot seat next week. So that's pretty fun. So
yeah, I don't remember the last part. What did you see on the preview for
again, but they started being like, I think they were talking about. Hold on, let's just look. Let's just look. I think they were talking about like. Okay, hold on. I actually have it here. It was like talking about Saul, I think. Hold on. So, okay, we see Sam kind of mad at Andy a little bit. Talking about nightmare fuel. And then, oh, wait, hold on, there was more.
I mean, that's interesting that they only have 3 Gata now, right?
Yeah.
And Andy's not one of them. Andy's not one of them anymore, right? So it's just Rachel and Sam, correct? Is that the only Gatas really left?
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
So that's interesting. They're picking them off one at a time. So with Gabe being at the front there, or not at the front, but he's kind of controlling with Tuku and Lavo. right? In a way, they're going to pick off those two one at a time, I think. So it's going to be Rachel and Sam next week, I think.
Rachel has an idol.
Rachel or Sam, but
Sam.
she's got to play the idol.
Okay, so right here we see Genevieve talking to Sue, being like, Saul wants Gabe out to Sue. So Sue has this information. So I'm wondering if Sue might use her idol on Gabe, and maybe Saul is going to end up going out here.
Saul wants Gabe out. Wow. Okay.
And then the Andy Sam fight.
So she's probably, or his probably Saul. No, Saul's probably remembering what Tiana said, right? So he hasn't forgotten that part.
What did Tiana say again?
Gabe is sneaky. He's out there collecting idols. He's not to be trusted. So he might be remembering that.
Absolutely. We'll see. Well, we'll see you both next week. Thank you, everybody here in the chat, for joining us live. If you're watching after, please subscribe to the channel. If I can find my banner, like this video, and let us know what you think MVP wise, who you think is in contentions of winning this game, who you're liking their gameplay from. Let's continue the conversation in the comments box below, and we'll join you live next week. Ciao.
Yeah, we'll see who Jeff wants.
Yeah.